This is Ben Television. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. It's your program, Politics with KO, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thursdays on this channel, Sky 182. Don't miss the debates by Nigerians and friends of Nigeria on issues surrounding Nigeria from around the world. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Ben TV. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi, and it's your show, Politics with KO. It's another Thursday. We're happy to have you as usual. And tonight we shall be discussing INEC. INEC is the Independent National Electoral Commission, the body empowered to conduct Nigeria's election. And we want to find out how they're doing. Is 2015 going to be better than 2011? And that's what we're going to try and find out. We're going to have joining us from Nigeria, Gbenga, Sesan, who is a frontline activist, and he's also involved in a lot of empowerment projects for young Nigerians. He's also an IT tech, as it is, using social media as a platform to campaign for change in the country. So later on in this program, we're going to be joined by Gbenga Sesan. And remember that we are now on free view in the UK. So apart from being able to get Ben TV on Sky 182, you can also get Ben TV on free view in the UK, so you don't have to pay expensive money to Sky TV. That's good news. Also, I just want to also mention that we are also going to be live in Nigeria. When I say live, I mean I am going to be in Nigeria, and then I would have to hand you over to someone to be with you for at least 4 weeks when I'll be away for the elections to report live from Nigeria. And it's my pleasure that I'm going to introduce a very experienced Nigerian broadcaster. She's worked with NTA. She's had her own program on the national network in Nigeria, in Benin, Abuja, and Lagos. And we are quite honored on this program that Rose Graham has accepted to join us on Politics with KO. So Rose is going to be taking my place when I'm away in Nigeria from early next year. And I did promise you we're going to make sure that we leave you with the best. So Rose, you're on Politics with KO, isn't it?
Very well, very well.
So we're happy to have you.
Thank you so
and
much.
Then you're welcome to the team. So have you found it interesting so far?
Definitely, I have.
So what do you have for our viewers? Tell them what to expect.
What to expect? How am I going to put this now? I am new here in the UK. I've been on ground in Nigeria, seen everything that is happening. And of course, on social media, you see Nigerians talking bitterly. They are angry. They want a change in Nigeria, you know. But how are we going to go about it? Because this biggest brand in Africa, the PDP, that is it, they are not, as a matter of fact, giving the people what they actually desire. They are just all about themselves. So I'm going to be talking to you about what the people actually need, what they feel, and how, you know, definitely, you know, we could go about having that change that we desire in Nigeria. I've been watching your program. I've been impressed with what I'm seeing, but I don't know if I'm going to be as much as a tiger that you are, you know.
One thing you're going to find is that we've got a very passionate audience. The viewers are going to attack you.
I hear them call. As a matter of fact, Nigerians in the diaspora are really, really upset with what is happening. Because after coming back this way, you want to go back home. You see the way things are run here, and you feel it should be better where I came from. And you know, when our leaders, they come here for health tourism, you know, if they're coming for their vacation, they see everything happening in the advanced world. We have the money. What is happening? Why aren't you utilizing it the way they are supposed to be? So what is happening?
All right, thank you, Rose. We're happy to have you. And then viewers, you're going to be with Rose for 4 weeks from mid-January throughout the election. And I'm going to be in touch with you via Skype or phone line to report the election. And Rose Graham is going to be your host. And Rose our viewers would, I'm sure they will.
You love to call me Rose Graham.
So
Rose Peter Graham.
Okay, so Rose Peter Graham, as it is. So Rose Peter Graham is going to be on the program. So in Nigeria, Gbenga Sesan is waiting for us. But before we go there, some people actually don't know what democracy is. So what is democracy? We've got a clip that we're going to show you straight away to just tell us what is democracy all about. And when we get back, Gbenga Sesan is going to be joining us live and direct from Abuja, Nigeria, to discuss what democracy is all about. Because really, when we talk, we just think democracy is about going to the polling booth, cast your vote, and that's it. Once you elect those people, you just go home. You know, but it's much more better. It's much more, it means a lot more than that. And we were going to find out from Gbenga Sesan. It's going to take us through a journey about INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and what they've got to offer for our country, and if we should opt for anything better. And if Tony, our producer, gives us the go-ahead, we're going to let you have that clip. But before then, let me ask you this, Rose. What you're going to get on this program is people are going to accuse us of bias. How are you going to handle that?
Of being partisan.
Of being partisan, yes. So tell our viewers how you're going to handle that.
Okay, you know, I'm going to be fair. Okay. But, you know, there's just no way about it that you would not want to see me as being partisan. Okay. And it's just basically that we want the best for Nigeria. Okay. If you have a political party in place for over 16 years, they haven't done anything. You should want them out. Okay. Why do you want to give them another 4 years? For what? Okay. What are they doing there? I am not saying the opposition is the best. Yeah. But, you know, there's a saying, if you allow me, two things are bad, but one is better than the other. Okay, great. On that point, one is better than the other. Let's show you that clip straight away. And then when we get back, Gbenga Sesan will join us from Nigeria. It's still Politics with KO. What is democracy?
What is democracy? Democracy is a belief that focuses on the people. But more importantly, it focuses on the individual. It revolves around you. In a democracy, we take into account our own self-interest, or what we want, as well as what is best for the common good, or best for everyone. Democracy is not only a belief, but also a great power when it is put into practice. Democracy gives the people power to have a voice, which is important because we all want to be heard. However, equally important to being heard is the responsibility to listen to each other and respect others' opinions. But in the end, we have the right and freedom to make our own choices. In a democracy, you have the power to choose. The superhero Spider-Man taught us that with great power comes great responsibility. The power that we have to make our own choices comes with a lot of responsibility in a democracy. Our responsibility in a democracy starts with us. It means that we take responsibility for our actions.
Welcome back, viewers, and it's still Politics with KO, and tonight we're talking about INEC Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission. And I'm glad to have with me on this program live from Nigeria, Gbenga Sesan. If we have Gbenga there, good evening, Gbenga. Okay, Gbenga, now, INEC, are they really prepared for the 2015 election? What are the feelers? What are we getting in Nigeria?
Well, I guess it depends on who asks. Since you're asking me, and my area where I registered didn't have the privilege of getting the permanent voters card because no one showed up from INEC, you could be tempted to say that INEC is not ready.
Okay.
But there are people who have been able to obtain their cards, so I think it's not a 0 or 10 thing. It's somewhere in between. But INEC, in the last of the permanent voter card.
Okay, Gbenga, and let me ask you this: Are we supposed to be? If INEC does not seem to be getting registration right in terms of distributing the permanent voters card, how are we sure we're going to have a free and fair election in 2015?
Well, so I think that there are two different things at play here for a free and fair, it's called the election free and fair. One is logistics, and the other is intent. I think as far as intent is concerned, we've seen signs, to show us that intent doesn't appear to be tilted as it used to be, a few years ago, because now you can actually see results as your polling unit. You can keep records and you can follow the results all the way. Of course, there have been issues and it's not perfect, but in terms of intent, it doesn't look like, from where I stand, it doesn't look like INEC is going all the way out to read against, what people are interested in. But then again, there's also logistics. And we've had this firm of logistics with us for a very long time. One of the things you would have thought, would be a great idea for INEC would be for them to take advantage of the elections between 2011 and now. It appears that, in ATT and Osun, for example, we saw some improvements. We saw things that worked a bit, but now that we're going to the distribution of permanent voter cards, at some point, my thinking was that if they were not ready, they would do what usually happens is that they want to use permanent voter cards, and then at some point they realize that it's not going to go really far, and then they say, okay, we'll use it at the next elections again. But I think they're really, they're quite bent on making sure that everyone gets it now. So in terms of intent, I don't think, it doesn't look to me like they want to go out against people's wishes, but in terms of logistics, a lot still needs to be done.
Now, Gbenga, I was around during June 12th, Abiola's election, and that is said to be one of the freest and fairest and most transparent election. And we went for option A4, which is the open secret ballot system. It wasn't complicated. You don't need to award contracts, billions of dollars of contracts to contractor to get you PVC. You queue behind your candidate, straightforward, right there, you get the results, and you go home. Why can't we just fall back to option A4 if all these techno elections it seems to be failing us?
Well, so the thing about technology is a tool. So like Yorubas would say in the proverb that it is the human behind the masquerade that makes the noise. So technology as a tool does not have a problem, but we as a people, our issues come through. They show through even when we use technology tools. So even if we had option A4 within the context that we have at the moment, there is no guarantee that we won't have issues with people saying, no, you can count again, you must count again and all that. So I think the process is not exactly about the medium having a problem, but as a people. So the question is, are we willing, if we say, so there's two sides. There's option A4 where you count people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we did that, or we even have SMS voting or whatever kind of technology you want to use, if we do that, are we certain that there will be no compromise in terms of, getting the, logistics, in terms of counting, and in terms of everything along the process? Okay, all right, Gbenga, let me just quickly... Gbenga, let me get our caller in here. I've got my first caller, and I want you to introduce yourself. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
I just want to talk to this lady, the Rose, who will be your representative after you might not be there.
Okay.
He just promised that she will not go to be partisan, she's going to be fair.
Okay.
But she has started to fall into the same mistake that she said she
was going to be. Yes, she has started to allow me to rub off for now, isn't it?
Inside the PDP, we've got Obasanjo, we've got Yadua, we've got Jonathan.
Yeah.
Why is it that she cannot even differentiate from the party and the candidate?
Okay, all right, good. Because we want to talk. Okay, I get your message.
What she said.
Okay, I get your message because I want to make sure that we get this INEC thing. Okay, you would have Rose to yourself when I'm gone, and then you can take her on. Let's get back on INEC now. And wow, it's just our first few minutes, and Rose is already courting controversy. Okay, that's good for us, yeah. Let's get back to Gbenga. Gbenga, Sesan, I am actually quite, and I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are actually quite petrified in terms of how we're going to manage the violence that might erupt during the 2015 election. What is INEC doing in terms of enlightening people about free and fair election, about making sure that they don't get used for violence by politicians? In terms of violence, do we really need to fear? Do we have anything to be afraid of?
Absolutely. And I'm not being alarmist, I'm just being, a realist. This doesn't even start with INEC. After I pity INEC in this particular scenario, because INEC is not a law enforcement organization. So INEC cannot ensure that people don't break people's heads and do things like that. But let's even, move back a bit. The fact that Nigerian elections are built on corruption and money, and that governance is seen as an opportunity to steal and to, amass wealth, in itself makes becoming elected official an attempt at being desperate and getting it at all costs. And if people are desperate and they have desperate followers, desperate things will happen. And for that reason, we will continue to see, because as far as the center, not just even the center, as far as every political office is seen as an opportunity to get rich, we'll have this issue of people becoming desperate, so that in their desperation they get points to help them beat people up, or to snatch boxes, or to just make sure they get in by all means.
Okay. All right, Gbenga, let's talk about funding of INEC. There's been a lot of money pumped into INEC by the federal government, by Nigerian taxpayers. And I have checked all through INEC's website. I cannot see one single means of accountability in terms of this is how much we got from the Nigerian people, this is how much we've spent so far. Is INEC immune from accountability? Why can't we have access to how INEC seems to be dispensing the funds, several billions of naira dispensed to the organization?
So there are two things here. One is the fact that, INEC, as a public institution, has to do that. INEC must, as a matter of necessity, provide information, on how funds are disbursed and how funds are used. But on the other hand, also, it means that as Nigerians, we need to ask more questions. We need to ask INEC questions. Thankfully, we've got the Freedom of Information law. It means that we can ask from INEC and get response within 7 days of how money was spent. And unfortunately or fortunately, in this kind of scenario, they can't claim that, which is what many institutions of government claim. They can't claim that in the interest of national security, they can't give us the information.
All right, I've got a caller on the line. If you hold on a minute, Gbenga. Good evening, caller. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling from Camberwell.
All right, John, it's good to have you on the show.
Regarding the INEC, to me, the first thing I will say is this: INEC is not prepared for the election. You see, for INEC to be coming out, to be giving the voters cards at this time of the year is wrong.
Yeah.
What INEC is doing for good 4 years, by now, INEC should be doing for new people who want to register now, not the old more. They are not ready. Okay. And the other one is this: for INEC to be using electronic system in Nigeria, to me as a person, is wrong. Okay. Because anything that you did not do by yourself, for you to buy it, how did you trust that country? Do you think that country cannot decide to allow your opposition to win, or to allow the incumbent to win by changing it?
Okay, let me let Gbenga respond to that.
Who produce it.
John, hold on there. Gbenga, I'm not sure if you heard John quite well there.
I didn't hear. Can you please repeat this question?
Yeah, he's saying that INEC is apparently not prepared for the election. He's quite surprised that they've got 4 years and they're only distributing voters' card less than 3 months to the election. And he's also saying that they should be looking for new voters now, not by now that they're distributing PVC. But the election is corrupt even before it started. How will you react to that?
Well, I mean, so this is how many people feel, to be very honest, and I think it's really great feedback for INEC to know that, you know, everyone is, not everyone, I mean, almost everyone is worried that there are things that should have been done before now. So INEC released the timetable, and to be fair to them, they released the timetable a while ago about how they were going to do this. And in terms of continuous voter registration, they've also announced that they will do continuous voter registration, you know, within. So, for example, in Edo, Imo, Kano, Etu, and Lagos, continuous voter registration exercise was supposed to be done from November 12 to 19.
Okay.
But the good thing is that after those particular dates, people can still register in local government, you know, offices. But one of the biggest problems that INEC has at the moment is that INEC information not exactly out there. Okay. And I honestly personally have a problem with that because INEC has the mobile number of everyone who registered. So by now you would have thought that INEC would have sent a text message with all the details that they are given through newspapers and through their partners to everybody's mobile phone. Because if you send me a text message, I will share with my wife, she will share with someone else, somebody will share with someone, and it will literally become viral.
Okay.
But we haven't seen that happen because they've planned it. The information is out there, but not everyone has seen it. But in terms of, you know, new voters, and I think it's really important to say that at least 20 million people have turned 18 between 2011 and now. So that's a huge number. We don't know how many will be registered. We don't know how many are interested. Okay. But that's a very good point that you made earlier.
Okay, Gbenga.
A lot of effort in terms of new registrations.
Yeah. Before we let you go, let me ask about young people. What are young people doing to mobilize themselves? Because we've got a lot of dynamic young voters. What are they doing to mobilize themselves towards 2015 election? There's that saying that we only have bad people in government because good people chose to elect them by not taking part in the election. We've got a lot of NGOs and civil society groups. What are they doing in terms of mobilizing young people to take part in this election, to vote for either candidates or either whatever political parties that are available?
Oh, okay. So we've seen a lot more activity, particularly online. And you know, there are two distinct groups because, you know, we've seen that there are those people who are connected who are online, and there are those who are not connected who are offline. And to be fair, the people who are more active on election day are not exactly those who are online. But the reality is we've seen a lot of activity online. Okay. We've seen a lot of activity going offline. We have a lot of young people who have campaigned to join political parties. Within the last 12 months in particular, we've seen a lot of people not just talking about voting, but joining political parties and possibly, you know, running for elective office. But in terms of mass education, so I'm on the board of Enough is Enough Nigeria, and you know the organization is extremely interested and also working in this area. Rallies are being organized, information is being, you know, shared with young people, and one of the major things that, you know, we had hoped could be done was to actually use technology to target this 20 million new voters and to make registration easier for them. I don't think that's going to happen for 2015, even though it's not too late. But I honestly don't think that doing something at the last minute is something we should encourage all the time or even at all. But there's a lot of activity. There are many organizations that are working towards, and you know, election time is always a very busy period, very busy time. Okay, there's a lot of money floating around, so a lot of activities are happening.
Okay, I've got a caller on the line. If you let me interrupt you, I've got a caller on the line. Gbenga, just hold on there, Gbenga. I've got a caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Uncle Ken. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Ayo Sholola calling.
Okay, Ayo, do you have any contribution or questions for Gbenga Sesan?
Oh yeah, I want to speak with Gbenga Sesan, but before I go to that, just you want to use this opportunity to welcome
Rose Peter Graham,
onto the program. I hope we're gonna enjoy her and gonna make it very fun for us as well.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Gbenga Sesan.
Okay, just say I'll repeat that.
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
You said go ahead. Go
ahead. Yeah, that's very good. But sometimes around this week, I was reading on the internet, on the website about the DSS discovering that INEC is being compromised like the PVC. There was this machine that was found in the APC secretariat where they are cloning the PVC. I just want to know how true that is, and because I believe in one way or the other, at the moment INEC is being compromised in one way or the other, because as I was reading that, I found out that they mentioned something like they're using some technology to hack into the INEC system. I just want to know how true these allegations are, if it is true that machine was found in the APC secretariat, and if you believe that fully INEC is being compromised using some modern technology to hack into their system, because, I mean, going into next year, this may cause a very big uproar.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Gbenga, if you heard us the question, what's your reaction to that question?
I think I heard 70%. So.
Okay. I'll summarize it. Is it true that APC seems to have been cloning INEC materials? The DSS alleged that they found cloning materials in APC Secretariat in Lagos. How true is that?
Okay, so two things. One, is INEC being compromised? I don't hold brief for INEC, so I don't know if they're being compromised. But if INEC is compromised, I think that citizens owe themselves the responsibility monitoring elections and making sure that every vote that you cast is counted in your presence, because that's illegal. You take pictures, you record videos if you can, and that you follow the process and make sure that your vote does count. On the allegation that APC was cloning cards, I think it's a shame on the Directorate of Security Services in Nigeria that happened. First of all, now we know from new reports that the company that they broke into was actually a company that was helping to convert physical documents into electronic format, and it had nothing to do with trying to hack INEC database and all that. So I think it's just one of those times that you ask yourself if the SSS is working for one man or really working to protect the country. So unfortunately, it's one of those times when they act and it was the wrong thing.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to ask him something. Going into 2015, I want to ask you, what is your own personal opinion? Do you think the technology INEC is using right now is a cause for a concern? Do you think Nigerians should be concerned about the state of the technology that INEC is going to use next year? Because if right now a political party can hack into it or manipulate it in one way, it won't be fair to the other party.
Okay, let me quickly ask Gbenga Sesan. Sesan, he wants to know, he wants to know if the technology is secured enough. And then I've got TM Bada on Twitter saying, please ask Mr. Sesan, what security feature is on the PVC such that it is unique to a voter? People are actually concerned about how secure is this technology.
Okay, so the thing is the PVC is mostly for identification, and what it has done is that each person has a unique number, and biometric information has been obtained, and so it's easy to check. So you can say it is secure, but like I said, technology is a tool. The question is, will INEC go all the way to use those features to verify and to be sure that things are right? Well, that's a question that INEC can answer. But as far as the technology is concerned, I don't think there is too much fear that there can be easy compromise. And the good thing again is that before now we used to have one huge political party and many small parties, so it was unfair advantage. But right now we seem to have something very close to a fair level playing field where each person can bring their voice to the table and say we've seen compromise and we think you should fix it very.
Okay.
So I think there are more voices in the room right now.
Okay. Gbenga, I'll ask this my next caller to have a word with you before we let you go. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good evening. My name is Akinola.
Okay, Akinola, you're welcome on Politics. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London.
All right, we've got Gbenga Sesan in Abuja. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I want to ask Gbenga. Yeah. about what the Nigerian INEC is all about, yeah?
Yeah.
So everyone is talking about corruption. People know there is no corruption. The real corruption is from UK down to the Nigerians.
Okay.
Yeah? All men, all African people, Nigerian people are suffering here. No, the one thing they will say, Nigerian government is corrupt. No, Nigerian government is corrupt. One thing you should mention about the energy in Nigeria.
Okay.
Energy should be stable.
Okay, all right.
That's why these people treating us like a slave here.
Okay, I got your point there. That is a concerned Nigerian in the UK.
It's a concern. You have to speak that out. You shouldn't be fair of anybody.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's one of our callers.
Just speak that out.
Okay, that's one of our callers who feels that the UK, there are more corrupt people in the UK, and the UK is corrupt, but he also wants us to ask you questions about other issues in Nigeria. I'll concede to his request by asking you, Gbenga, do you have any comment? We just saw recently that Naira just fell, because of the slide in the oil prices over 100 months ago, 82. You know, what's happening? I thought Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala told us our Naira is strong, can't pay, and nothing can move it. So why the sudden backslide, in the country?
Well, I think she said what she had to say at the time to look good and maybe to save her job, I don't know. But reality is that nobody can deny the Naira and the economy anymore, right now. For a mono economy that always depending so much on oil, we could have known this was going to happen. Let us hope that we have the leadership and the courage to do the right thing right now and make sure we begin to diversify and make plans and not spend everything and not steal everything and not spend everything, because the time will come and this slide is still on, so we have no idea where it's going to end, whether it's going to go on until it's below $50 or so.
Before I let my next caller come in, I want to ask these questions. We're talking about diversifying our economy into agriculture, food production. 80% or 70% of the region that produces food for us, it's on fire. There's war going on in northeast Nigeria. You would think that our government would take issue of security so that we can have food security to diversify and be less dependent on oil. Can you tell us briefly the effect of insecurity on the economy in the country?
I think it's obvious. Unfortunately, it's so terrible that right now, for the regions of the country that are not affected, people are literally almost numb. So you read the news, 35 people, died in Mobi, and basically just move on to the next item of the news, because it's, we're almost getting used to it. Lives are affected, businesses have been ruined, economy is affected, but unfortunately, we seem to have a government that is more interested in the next 4 years. A president who wants to be there for another 4 years, instead of, focusing on the things that need to be done. I think, at this point, there's no doubt whatsoever that, insecurity has cost Nigeria a lot of money, not only because we're budgeting a lot more for security, but also because we're losing a lot of human capital, we're losing a lot of opportunities for business, and the climate is becoming threatened more and more, unfortunately.
Okay. All right, Gbenga Sesan from Nigeria, we really want to thank you for being with us today. Hopefully when next you're in London, we will have you in the studio. Thanks so much for joining us from Nigeria.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, all right. Okay, viewers, that was Gbenga Sesan from Nigeria talking about INEC. I know we've got a caller on the line and would want to have a conversation with you. Good evening, caller. Where are you calling from and what's your name? We're discussing INEC.
Good evening. My name is John. I'm calling from London.
All right, go ahead, John.
Yes. First of all, I defend myself. I'm not in any political party.
Okay.
But my comment is about INEC because a few days ago or weeks, I watched on Good Morning Nigeria where the INEC officer was questioned about preparation about the election.
Yeah.
It did make clear in terms of provision of information, registration, how far it had gone. They've gone to the local by all radio, translated into every local language.
Yeah.
Published in every newspaper is currently like they are doing in England. The INEC card Council, where every registered individual that has not got his card should go there and get their card.
Okay.
Why can people not go there?
Yes.
I feel, my own feeling is that there are some people there with the ulterior motive.
Yeah.
There are all those interested, power-hungry individuals. They are trying everything to thwart every effort. People with good mind like the Gbenga and the rest of them working to uplift Nigeria. There are some people that, because they are their own, they have not found their way. That is why they continue to thwart their effort.
Okay.
I'm not in Nigeria. I'm in London.
Absolutely.
I'm watching what's happening on the television.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. And that's a fair point there, that we should recognize the fact that we've got INEC officials who are actually doing a nice job of going into the hinterland to try and make sure that we've got a free and fair election. But of course, we still have complaints from Nigerians about, especially Lagos, Kano, and I think some other parts of the country where they cannot have access to the PVC, you know. And before 2015 election, that is one thing we need to correct, that people must have access to a voter's card so that they can have a say in who they elect into government and who is going to lead Nigeria from 2015 and beyond. And I think it's quite a fair demand from the country, but that does not also take away that fair point that was just mentioned, that INEC are doing what they can do within the limits of the environment they find themselves in Nigeria. I've got another caller on the line, if he's still there or if she's still there. Good evening, caller. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Electoral, calling from London.
All right, go ahead, please.
Regarding INEC, I guess like one of the first callers that spoke, talking about what we are facing at the moment.
Yeah.
I think by now, what INEC should be doing is registering the new people who are turning 18 or getting to that age of voting rights.
All right, we cannot, if you can speak out, please, because we can hardly hear you.
Yeah, I said what INEC should be dealing with now are new people who are qualified.
Okay.
Not for us after 4 years or even 8 years. We are just talking about we don't know what to do now because of this PVC of a thing. So what does it mean? What that means is that what are they doing all this long?
Okay.
And the election is coming up now.
Yeah, and we need. I agree with you that INEC will need to actually do better than what they are doing now, and
giving room for fraud.
Yeah.
This is giving room for fraud.
Okay, thank you for your phone call, and we want you to call in to the studios. The number is 0208-808-0693, and that is if you're calling from within the UK. If you're calling from outside the UK, I think we would have plus 208-808-0693. The phone lines are still going off, and as soon as they're able to pass you into the studio, we're still on that conversation. But before we go on that conversation, we want to take a very short trip to one state called Ekiti. Ekiti State is in southwest Nigeria. Ekiti has produced more professors than any other parts of Africa. In fact, there's this famous thing in Ekiti that every household in Ekiti must have one professor. It's called Fountain of Knowledge. And we've got professors who have taught worldwide from Ekiti State, and they are one of the most educated parts of Yoruba land, probably after Ondo State, if I might say. Ekiti has elected new speaker and deputy speaker of the House of Assembly. Let us introduce to you the new speaker of the Ekiti State House of Assembly, Honorable Dele Odugbemi, and his deputy. And you should find this video interesting. When you come back, we would want to have your phone calls to make comments about this. Presenting Ekiti State lawmakers.
To go ahead and appoint a speaker pro tempore for the good governance of the state and for the smooth runnings of this very particular House of Assembly and the state in general. Even the constitutions explain very clearly that if the quorum is even 7 without any observation, you can go ahead. So we will not violate any section of Nigerian constitution.
The speaker absconded from office without official notice. The speaker left on his own, playing a role of partisan which that is not the oath of allegiance he has for the people of Ekiti State. The speaker left Ekiti State. The speaker left Ekiti State to Lagos. Is he legislating in Lagos? What is his function in Lagos? When his work here in Ekiti State is lying low. So what have you done? The speaker has been impeached.
All right, sir.
The deputy speaker has been impeached.
On what grounds?
They have been impeached on the ground that one, they left their official responsibility without an official notice. When we come to the issue of figure, not figure, House of Assembly has their own culture. We have our own law. We have the way we operate. We have the way we run things. It is not my duty to tell you figure. It is an administrative function. And you cannot allow me to, as a public servant, to go and be doing the duty of an administrator. That is not my own duty.
All I can, you see, all I can actually say is, You know, Fela said already, You know, well, good luck to Ekiti State. Oh, well, it's that, well. But let me say before I take the caller, those young men you saw, the speaker and the new deputy speaker, they are PDP, but you cannot take it away from the fact that they were all former loyalists of the APC or ACN as it used to be called. So they decamped to PDP. How did they become lawmakers in a state of fountain of knowledge, if even they could not even define the role of a legislator? But you know what? It's Ekiti's issue to deal with. But we want to call on Mr. Speakers of Ekiti who ran to Lagos, you know, to come back because the other Mr. Speakers is waiting for him. So I've got a caller on the line. Good evening, caller.
This is Chooks from London.
Hello, Chooks. Good evening. How are you today?
Yeah, thank God. It's a bit cold today.
Oh my God! Did you see the new speakers of Ekiti produced by APC for PDP right on TV now?
Not even that one that I want to say. Did you see the speaker of Nigeria, Aminu Tambawa, jumping fence?
I saw that one too, on the fountain of knowledge, and we just showed you an example of why Ekiti is the fountain of knowledge. You know, with the Mr. Speakers that was running away and the Mr. Speakers, quote and unquote.
Because what I saw, you know, with the so-called speaker or the speakers, there is nothing to show or showcase that Ekiti State is the fountain of knowledge. Because Ekiti is one of the most backward areas in Africa.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I haven't seen that excellence, academic excellence in them, or invention or discovery.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I raise up my two hands. I cannot argue against that. Having watched that video, that Ekiti cannot lay claim to be the fountain of knowledge with such fantastic lawmakers that have just proven to the whole world that we've got a long way to go. Anyway, do you have a quick comment on INEC before we take the next caller?
Well, I don't know anything about Nigeria because this man he called the speaker, Mr. Tambowa or what?
Tambowa, yeah.
It's a big shame that such a character should be the speaker of the Nigerian
House of Assembly.
Look at him the other day. How he climbed, jumped the fence, and what a shame! And that man is supposed to be in prison by now. I don't know what the type of country you have, so-called Nigeria.
Okay,
and there is no alliance between the APC and the PDP.
Yeah.
The moment he resigned his candidacy as a PDP candidate, that should have been the moment.
Okay, let me quickly ask you a question on that. You want him to vacate, but Governor Mimiko left Labour Party and joined PDP. Should he have also resigned as governor of the state? Do we still have you there?
Yeah. He said Governor Mimiko.
Yeah, he left Labour Party for PDP. Should he have also vacated his seat as governor of the state?
Well, it depends on...
No. It doesn't depend on anything. We have the same situation. Governor Mimiko left Labour Party for PDP. He still remains governor of Ondo State. Tambawai left APC, PDP for APC. You are saying Tambawai should resign. Should the same principle be applied to Governor Mimiko of Ondo State, in fairness?
Well, good question.
You see, my brother, I see that the question is so difficult to answer. Anyway, that's my position. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. We can't have one law for the Fulani man and another law for the Yoruba man. What is good for the Fulani man is also good for the Yoruba man. What is good for the Igbo man is good for the Ijaw man. It's a fair, free country. If the law says someone should resign, everyone should resign. If the law says the status quo should remain, that should it. You might disagree with me. I think I've got another caller on the line. Good evening. This is Politics with KO. But if you're not there, just keep trying.
In the House of Representatives in Nigeria.
Yeah.
How did he manage to get in there? Or Tambuwa is the hoodlum the Inspector General is talking about.
Yeah.
See, people should understand Nigerian politics. The president said in 2003 or 1999 by Obanikoro and Co. Protected by Obasanjo.
Yeah.
This is what led us to where we are.
Okay.
Tinubu fought tooth and nail to take the seat from them, but Obasanjo protected them. So that is what the price is what we are paying.
For. Okay, on that note, I just want to thank you for calling into the program, and it's been comedy central, and you know it's been quiet. It's been a gentle program today, except for the fact that your new my new co-presenter Rose Peter Graham, you know, made a success of her first appearance, and she's going to be here with you the whole of January and February. So just keep calm. She's also going to be here next weekend with us. But let's take this last caller. If you make it quick, I can't have you. My producer said we're running out of time. I just want to thank everybody who've contributed to this program today. We appreciate your call. Nigeria remains our country, irrespective of our differences. And I like to say, it's a free show. All the contributions are those of everyone who contributed. It's got nothing to do with Ben TV. My views and my voice and those of everyone associated to this program are done under the Free Speech Act. And we just want to say to you, we will be here every Thursday to bring you the best out of Nigerian politics and African politics. To producer Tony, Rose Peter Graham, Victor, and everyone involved in this program, I say good night to you all viewers. See you next Thursday for another interesting edition. God bless you and bye-bye. This is Ben Television. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. It's your program, Politics with KO, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thursdays on this channel, Sky 182. Don't miss the debates by Nigerians and friends of Nigeria on issues surrounding Nigeria from around the world. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi.